Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you. So today we're going to be covering our branded Despia deck for our official Season 11 deck profile here. Looking at the build though, I'm pretty sure I'm just thinking back to the build we tested at the end of Season 10. It's technically still the end of Season 10 here, but it's now post-ban list. The last video I recorded was, I think just before the ban list dropped, like a few days beforehand, but yeah, we're not doing anything too different as far as the build goes. But like I kind of mentioned in my deck overview, or like, best decks for the new meta video, I think it's totally fine when we end up in this scenario, right, where we're updating our decks, but not necessarily, things aren't necessarily changing, rather, because that just means to me that, I really like the list I've landed on. It's a solid list, and, my opinion of it is consistent, which is where you want to be, like it's nice to be updating our builds, but we shouldn't constantly be updating them like on a whim necessarily. It's good to like put in, a good amount of thought and decide like, okay, what could change, what needs to change, reflecting on not just our own personal opinions of the deck and the meta, but also what the data for the deck and the meta is showing us as well, across, not just Master Duel meta, but other sources like the Discord, YouTube, just places of discourse in general where we're seeing these decks being shared and insights on them as well. So yeah, like I said, I've still been rocking this same list here, and I've been liking it a whole lot. I really like in particular the 3 Edge Imp Chain. I mentioned this before, but there are enough scenarios where you'll open with Edge Imp Chain, send it, either discard it or fuse with it or whatever, it gets sent to the graveyard. You add the Patchwork, you use Patchwork to add another chain in Poly, and then if you're playing 2 Edge Imp Chain, you're kind of like done with your Edge Imps after that, like you're done with your Frightfur Patchworks, but with the 3rd Edge Imp Chain, the second one can get the Patchwork, which will still be live to grab a chain in a Poly. That doesn't always come up, but in grindier games it can definitely come up, and it's not hard for that to come up. I say grindier games, but for this deck, I mean, honestly, even going to like its 2nd or 3rd turn is particularly grindy. I mean, I guess you could argue that's kind of true of like modern Yu-Gi-Oh in general a bit, but either way. Yeah, so yeah, we got branded opening now at 2. I did talk about quite a bit in the last video, potentially playing Springand's kit in order to kind of like circumvent the branded opening going to 2. I reasoned that, branded opening costs you an extra discard to get your combo started anyway, so kit would more or less be the same. And I did look for room for the kit here, but ultimately I decided to not include the kit in this variant, and I did so mainly because, I felt I already had a decent amount of starters, like enough that I was really not trying to like, I really didn't want to add another one that would not only cost an extra card but also your normal summon. That's not always super relevant for this deck, like the normal summon. Really the only thing you consistently want a normal summon is the Aluber, sometimes the Edge Imp Chain. That's a very niche case that you actually want to summon this and like battle with it or whatever, but it can happen sometimes. Albaz is not an uncommon normal summon, that's particularly going 2nd, but, that said, there were still enough times where, like, I don't know, opening Aluber plus the kit feels a lot worse than opening Aluber plus branded opening as well. Like, the branded opening in addition to the Aluber, you can at least do something with, and even potentially, like, go off a little bit harder with, but, the kit, like I said, you only get one normal summon, and that in addition to, like, the card being sent back. Also, those are like more minor reasons. I think the major reason I didn't include kit was space, honestly, more than anything else. And there are a couple of flex spots in this deck. Again, I talked about this in our video where we covered all the decks that I've built so far for this season. But as far as flex spots go, like, yeah, we've got the 3rd Edge Imp Chain, we've got the Feather Duster, we've got the Foolish Burial, but I like all these cards, I think, better than the kit, right? The Foolish, like I mentioned in that last video, I like sending the Tragedy for the Aluber. I like that actually more than having the kit as far as like a consistency boost. There was a minute where it kind of came down to Foolish versus kit, and I just decided Foolish was better. Kind of same with Feather Duster. There was a moment where it came down to Feather Duster versus kit, and ultimately I decided having like the way to clear the one way to really clear back rows was a little more important than having just another way to get the branded fusion. And then 3 Edge Imp Chain. This is actually one where I was feeling a little more inclined to drop this card for the kit, and it was a lot closer than the other 2 cards, the Feather Duster and the Foolish, but ultimately, like I said, I just valued the long game that 3 Edge Imp Chain provides as opposed to another starter with kit. So I don't think Kit's bad by any means, and I definitely would like to include her if possible. I've talked about this before, the concept of like starting at 45 cards, or like, you know, more than 40 cards when building a deck and then trimming it down to 40. And, you know, I'll get asked sometimes about, like, why don't you play Kit? Why don't you play Branded Lost? Why don't you play Tri-Brigade Mercurier? Those are all cards that, like, I think are good and would be good in the deck. I just don't feel I personally have the space for, with all the other stuff I want to include. So those are the kind of cards that'll make it into, like, the above 40 builds, but then just end up getting taken out when I trim it down to 40. So, extra deck is still the same. I did see people suggesting Mud Dragon in the extra deck, again, particularly in response to like Yuumi control, which I have thought about including the Mud Dragon again. Right now I'm playing the Proskenion over the Mud Dragon. I like this as a super poly target a little bit, but I want to try it a little bit more as a super poly target. It's particularly good against Sword Soul Tenyi, being able to fuse one of your monsters with both their Chi-Shao and Protos. This is a really solid out to Protos, because this is light, you can summon it under Protos when Protos calls dark, so... and this deck can have a bit of a time getting around that, so... you know, that being the case, and also like us having other outs like the Yuumi control floodgates, I decided to keep trying the Proskenion over the Mud Dragon for the time being. This is, as always, as ever with these builds, subject to change if I feel it's necessary, so... Alright, I think that about covers everything I wanted to cover with the build here. We're going to try to get a couple of live games in for this deck profile, see if we can't do that here. So let's go ahead and just break this list down card by card and jump straight into that. We're playing 2 Despain Tragedy, 3 Maxx, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Edge Imp Chain, 1 Fairy Tale Snow, 2 Fallen of Albaz, 3 Aluber, the Jester of Despia, 1 Dramaturge of Despia, 1 Ad Libitum of Despia, 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Polymerization, 1 Foolish Burial, 2 Frightfur Patchwork, 3 Branded Fusion, 2 Super Polymerization, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Desginator, 2 Branded Opening, 2 Branded in Red, and 2 Infinite Impermanence to round out the main deck there. Extra deck is going to have 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, 1 Predaplant Dragostepelia, 1 Titanklad the Ash Dragon, 2 Albion the Branded Dragon, 1 Despian Quaretits, 2 Masquerade the Blazing Dragon, 2 Mirrorjade the Iceblade Dragon, 2 Lubellion the Searing Dragon, 2 Guardian Chimera, and then finally 1 Despian Proskenion. Alright, that is going to go ahead and do it for the list here. Now let's take a look at some gameplay. Alright, so let's try our first... I say first opponent. We did have another game just now where we just, you know, opened god-awfully. Like, what was it? Double Polymerization, Albaz, Ash, Imperm. We just kind of set Imperm past and then got wrecked by a couple of Danger Bigfoots, so... let's try this again. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't have any, like, you know, particular disruption in this hand, but this hand is still not bad. Going second. What is this? A Dream Mirror? Kind of looks like a Dream Mirror card from a distance there. Oh, it's an Evil Eye deck. Medusa Watcher of the Evil Eye. Okay, opponent's just going to normal summon Evil Eye monster and pass. Okay, let's see here. This card is equipped, quick effect, you can target a monster, opponent's graveyard, banish it, that's fine. And this doesn't have any quick effects, right? Does that look like it? Should we activate, quick monster can attack, life points, can pay, that's fine. Okay, that's all fine, I'm not too fussed about any of that. So, let's start off with the Frightfur Patchwork here. See if our opponent's got a response to that. Nope. Alright, then I'll start by summoning Aluber, and if they go, like, do a Veiler or something, I could even just chain Super Poly, honestly. And if they have Ash Blossom, I'll just hit it with a Call By. Yep, they've got the Ash Blossom. Not correct timing for the Ash, by the way. You should do it in response to the Branded Fusion. Well, let's see if they end up... I was gonna say just conceding here. Do we have lethal? Actually, we have lethal here, don't we? It sure looks like we do. There's no way we don't, right? We can just super poly for... okay, we're definitely gonna add brain... Well, let's see if this brain diffusion resolves before we start getting too ahead of ourselves here. Okay, they don't have a response for it. That's good. We'll get the Lubellion. I'll do... yeah, the Tragedy and the Albaz. summon that. I'll pitch the Edge Imp Chain, get a Frightfur Patchwork. Not that we'll be able to use it, but we can discard it for Super Poly. I'm going to chain block like so. Like I said, we're going to discard the Edge Imp Chain to retain our advantage. We can search Dramaturge with this. That should be enough for lethal. This should be. That will be enough for lethal. Ooh, wait, the opponent's got... Oh, they're going to banish a card in our graveyard. That's fine. I don't care about that. Okay, I was like, it's not Nibiru, right? No, we're definitely not in Nibiru range. This is 1, 2... Mirrorjade will be 3. I said we're going to add Dramaturge, right? That'll be 4, and then we can Super Poly during the battle phase, and that'll be our 5th summon. So, yeah, this should be fine. Let's see. Mirrorjade using Lubellion and Albaz. Wait, what is this doing? Chimera activate. Oh, because they activated the monster's effect, right? That's, again, that's fine. I don't care about that. Alright, yep, we'll add our Patchwork. And they'll get a boost, that's fine. I don't care about that. I'll use Poly here. I'll just fuse these two for like a Masquerade. Could make a Guardian Chimera, but we don't need to. Could make a Quaretits too. We'll do it that way, actually. Yeah, we'll do it this way. That way we don't have to Super Poly for game, but we still have the option to Super Poly if we need to. Plus, I mean, I don't know. I do love an opportunity to show off my Royal Finish Quaretits here. And we'll summon the Dramaturge. This doesn't have an effect when it battles, right? I mean, it can't be destroyed by battle, but that's fine. And we got the concede, okay. Yeah, we're just going to drop its attack to 0 and then just swing in. And again, we had the Super Poly to go for the Starving Venom if we absolutely needed to as well. So that's a relatively, standard, clean win with Branded Despia there. Not that our opponent really had much of a response, but I mean, it's nice to show going second games like this how to just accumulate 8,000 damage on board. Because it's not always the most obvious with some decks. And I think Branded Despia is one of those decks where, like, sometimes it looks like you might be able to get 8,000, but maybe not. So, yeah, in any case, let's go ahead and just move on to the next game. Alright, we've got our next opponent here. Let's see if we win this coin flip. And we do. Oops, sorry, I bumped the desk there. Yeah, we obviously love to see the coin flip being in our favor there. Alright, let's see what we've got. Okay, we did open Braided Fusion. The rest of our hand is looking kind of sus, not gonna lie. Let's just see if this resolves. Hopefully it does. It does, thank goodness. Let's see. We're still gonna send the Tragedy even though we've got one in hand. Yeah, still gonna send the Tragedy there. Alright, for the Lubellion. I think I'll discard the Tragedy anyway, even though I just sent one question mark. I think I'll actually, no, I think I'll discard a Super Poly. Yeah, I'll discard a Super Poly. Don't need both of them. I think the other Tragedy might come in handy on the next turn, potentially. Someone's got a Veiler. That's rough. Oh well, it happens. Alright, given that they Veilered, I think I might do this either way. Like, have searched the Aluber. I'll definitely just search the Aluber here. And actually, hang on, let me see something real quick. Can I just Aluber for Branded in red and then just make a Mirrorjade anyway? Yeah, because I can just add the Albaz back. Okay, cool, we'll just do it that way then. Easy peasy. Alright, and then yes, I would love to special summon a monster, the Mirrorjade. So yeah, even if your Braided Fusion gets interrupted like that, there's still usually a decent amount of ways to recover from it. I like throwing the Mirrorjade in defense mode for Lightning Storm, by the way. And because 2,500 versus 3,000 isn't like too much of a difference, so... Also helps against Droplet. That's another like reason to summon stuff in defense mode on turn 1, is against Forbidden Droplet. I mean, obviously your stuff will still get negated, but like... The attack points getting halved can and often will matter for lethal. I don't know, often will, but can matter for lethal pretty easily. Oh, Oh, you know what? Shoot. Oh, I didn't get an Ad Libitum. That's why I shouldn't have done the Mirrorjade there. Oh, that was totally an instinctual thing. That wasn't good. Heavy forward. Oh, it's an Infinite Track deck. Okay. What does this do? This card is activated. You can add an Infinite Track monster from your deck to your hand. Once returning, you target a machine exceeds monster. Activate one of these effects. Use battle position. Attach this card to it as a material. That's fine. Yeah, that was totally an instinctual thing, you know, banishing the Aluber there. Your opponent controls more monsters than you do. Special summon a level 4 or lower. Oh, wait a second. No, they'll still get to activate it. I was just thinking, what if I fused with the Branded in red right now? But no, they'll still get to activate the urgent schedule. I was thinking, like, can I get in a scenario where I have no monsters on board when this resolves, so they just minus, but I can't do that and also blow up the heavy forward. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, like I said, it was definitely a misplay to banish my own Aluber for the branded in red there. Okay, Ruffian Railcar. Wait, summon 2 things? Oh, and 1 level 5 or higher. Gotcha. Okay, special summon my card effect, quick effect, target machine monster, destroy machine monster. Destroy that machine monster with attack unless you're equal to it. Control destroy a valid card effect. While this is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Got it. Okay, that's fine. Now, what do they end up adding? Infinite Track Harvester, and or special summon at Infinite Track. Target more the machine monster. This card. Yep, that's fine. That's fine too. Wow, maybe I should have actually stopped this. Like, I was thinking about flipping the Brandon red to Guardian Chimera this heavy forward. Maybe I should have done that. Nah, I think it's fine. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's fine. I should throw that caveat on. I will hopefully be fine. Let's see. Contribute 1 Earth Machine monster, specialist card from your hand defense mode, banish card from the graveyard, 2 Pot of Avarice. That's fine. Okay, my opponent is in Nibiru range now, which is good to note. I try and decide if I want a Nibiru now or Guardian Chimera first. Does my opponent use their normal summon? They have used their normal summon. Well, I have to choose between... This is all fine. So, well, my opponent's got 2 level 5s, so I think I do want to, like, get rid of at least one of them right now. And I think the Nibiru... I'm just going to drop the Nibiru now. Like, I did end up sending my own Mirrorjade along with it, which isn't, like, super ideal, but I think it's fine. I think it's probably, hopefully fine. Probably, hopefully fine. I know, I sound very confident. Probably, hopefully fine. Nah, it should be good. Let's see, they got 3 cards in hand. I could still make Guardian Chimera with Nibiru, actually. Probably want to pop... Well, I don't necessarily have to pop the token if I do that. Okay, they set a card. I might even pop the back row, honestly, if they go to end phase here. Because then I get to draw 2 cards and search as well. Oh, you know what? I can't, because I can't do 3 monsters with different names. So I have to add back a Despian Tragedy here. I'm definitely still going to do that, though. And yeah, let's special summon... I could summon a Proskenion, but I think I want to summon either a Quaretits or a Masquerade. I think I'm going to summon a Masquerade here. What's his face down again? This is Super Poly. Let's summon a Masquerade. I'll just fuse the 2 tragedies in hand, why not? I should have thought about leaving that tragedy engraved to reset the branded fusion potentially, but I'm also adding an Aluber here, so I think that's fine. Let's see, what is this doing? Oh, adding a level 10 Earth Machine. Got it, that's fine. And that's not a quick effect, so... But it is if a machine monster is normal or special, so this could end up coming down. Hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. Let me see something. Alright, let's summon Ash. Or not summon Ash, summon Aluber and hope it doesn't get Ash / impermed. Ooh, they got a droplet. Ugh, okay. Although, this might not be the end of the world here. I can Super Poly. Depending on what they discard. Ah, they sent a spell. Shoot. Ah, that sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. Let me see something real quick. I'm just seeing... No, that's fine. Alright, let me see what all my options are here. Well, this is a light monster, right? Can't I just Super Poly this and this for another Masquerade? That's 55, 65, 67, 50. Am I really 50 points short if I do it that way? Hang on a second. Let me see something. I couldn't make a Quaretits. That would also be... am I really 50 points short of lethal here? I think I might be. It's a fusion and a dark. 2 darks. This is a light. Albaz. Yeah, I think I'm I think I'm 50 points short of lethal. Wow, that's... You know what? If I'm 50 points short of lethal, that's fine, because then they just can't activate effects, right? So... Yeah, we'll just do it this way. We'll be 50 points short of lethal, it's fine. I still think that's so funny. I don't think I've ever actually like ended a game this way, where I've got Masquerade up and my opponent's just like unable to play any effect without like losing, especially because I have double Masquerade up here. I thought for a second I was maybe going to lose that because of just, you know, not responding with it. That happens to me when I'm playing against rogue decks like this sometimes, where like I don't know how to respond with my destruction, so I just kind of wait for something that seems more threatening, but in the process of doing that I end up just like letting my opponent combo off, so... But fortunately it does not seem like that happened here. Well, it not seem like it didn't happen here, so... Alright, let's see if we can do one more duel here. Alright, got Sky as our next, probably last opponent for this video here. Alright, looks like we're going to be taking the first turn yet again. Gotta love when our opponent's got the water backdrop. Alright, this hand is extremely solid. This is like kind of the definition of like an amazing, I don't know about amazing, but it's a very, very good turn 1 hand. Now, we are susceptible to Imperm here, but looks like our opponent didn't have it. Yeah, Imperm on that Aluber would have been a bit rough, but fortunately they did not have it, so we can just go ahead and drop the Branded Fusion here for the Lubellion. You want to send a Tragedy and an Albaz, of course. If you want to see a combo guide for this deck profile, definitely feel free to check out. It should be in the description below. My combo guide that'll cover all the basic plays for this deck here. Now, we even have the Edge Imp Chain to discard with Lubellion. Super nice. So we're going to end up getting a Masquerade in addition to everything else here. And actually, because I already have Ad Libitum in hand, I can even just add this Dramaturge. I can even have a Dramaturge on board as well now that I'm thinking about it. Wow, this is going to be a really good turn 1 setup. Just going to have to hope our opponent doesn't have like a Kaiju or something. Alright, and then we'll do Edge Imp Chain's effect. Activate the Patchwork to get ourselves Poly plus another Edge Imp Chain. I'm just thinking here, because I could technically summon Proskenion And then also have Dramaturge up, in addition to Ad Libitum for the Mirrorjade back. But that might be committing a lot. Could also Masquerade, just fusing Dramaturge and... Well, I wouldn't want to fuse I could fuse Dramaturge and Aluber, and then have Masquerade plus Dramaturge up. And also, of course, still have the Mirror. But I wouldn't have the Guardian Chimera set up as the thing. I think I'd rather have that, ultimately. So let me activate this Poly. I think I'm just going to do things kind of like the standard way here, so to speak. Yeah, let's just do Ad Libitum and Mirrorjade. Oh no, I was supposed to banish the Aluber first. Whoops. Oh well. Minor misplay there, but it shouldn't matter too much. Probably, hopefully. Probably, hopefully. Yeah, I was supposed to banish this, and that way I could have set the branded fusion and still had this live, you know, but we'll just set this and pass here. So we still have the Ash to call by for negations, the banish from the Mirrorjade, and our opponent's going to have to pay 600 to do everything because we've got a Masquerade up as well. Okay, Skullcrabat Joker is absolutely getting Ash Blossomed. Yeah, I definitely don't need them adding their pendulum scales like that. That's fine. Ooh, pendulums activate a lot of... I'm just realizing now this, with this Masquerade out that pendulums activate a lot of effects in a turn. This might be pretty good for me here. Okay, they're special summoning... Okay, yeah, they just special summoned the Stargazer. That's fine. I don't think I need to banish it right away. If they're gonna, like, fuse with it or something, yeah, they'll have to activate something first. Let's return if your opponent... If you're a dark spell type, this card is destroyed by battle, or card effect, that's all. That's fine, I don't care about that. Okay, linking into Electromite. Yeah, that one I'm gonna Mirrorjade. Like, it's not gonna stop the first effect, but the other two effects I'm definitely looking to stop here. Oh, you know what? I should have waited for them to add first. Yeah, I should have waited for them to add first, honestly. Yeah, that was definitely a misplay on my part. I could have flipped this to on, and then I would have gotten the opportunity to resolve, do the effect on the resolution there. Okay, adding the double Iris Magician. Yep, setting the other scale. Let's see, so they'll get to Pendulum, all their stuff out. Or one of their things out, right? Because we're not under Master Rule 3 anymore. This Guardian Chimera would have been really, really good against this deck. Though, obviously, being able to hit the Pendulum scale when it got placed. Ugh. Yeah, like I said, definitely misplay on my part, and might be one that... Hopefully won't be one that costs me the game, but it might. It very well could be, honestly. Although, like, yeah, our opponent's only got so many more effects at this point. It destroyed the Aluber of all things. Really? Destroying the Aluber of all things. Okay. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more effects. And they ended. Yeah, that's fine. What? Did I set a branded fusion here or branded in red, I wonder? Let's set a branded in red, I think? No, let's just... Wow, the choices. I think I'm just going to add a... Oh my god. You could really make an argument for either case, honestly. Let me actually think about it for a second. Branded in red can't get hit with Ash Blossom. And I can add Aluber and then, yeah, we'll just add the branded in red. Yeah, we'll set it, that's fine. Okay, cool. So the opponent didn't end up doing too much anyway. That Masquerade was a huge help there. I mean, we would have had a Masquerade with the right play anyway, so it's not like that was like the deciding factor. Oh yeah, we've got Tragedy Reset Branded Fusion as well, so let's actually just start by doing that. And see if this Branded Fusion resolves. If we do, that'll kind of be easy mode, but if it doesn't, that's also just fine. Okay, they don't have the Ash Blossom. That's definitely good. Probably just make it Albion here for lethal. I mean, they're already at 26, so... We can set up another Masquerade here, potentially. Alright, let's banish... Okay, yeah, we got it. They conceded. So even though we fumbled that a little bit on turn 1 by not setting up the Guardian Chimera, but just by forgetting to banish the Aluber first, it's fine. We found lethal anyway. That Masquerade against Pendulum Magicians was huge, actually. Of course, I realized before, but never really realized just how many effects they activate in a turn until they started paying 600 per effect. Oh, gotta love it. But, alright, that's gonna go ahead and do it for the games. Let's move back to the outro now. Alright everybody, thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video like this. I definitely greatly appreciate that. I also appreciate those of you who are commenting and subscribing. All those things not only mean a lot to me personally, but are also great ways to support the channel as well. Comments I always love seeing, especially I'm always looking for suggestions as far as gameplay and deck building goes. Particularly deck building, it's something I think about a lot. I think it's as much fun as actually playing the game, so I'm always looking for people's inputs on builds and like different builds and techs that I might want to try. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions, again, not just about the deck, but for anything in general, it could even be about like channel type of videos you want to see, definitely let me know in the comments there. And then subscribing, that is the best way to stay notified of when these videos drop. But that does happen every day, by the way, so know that for subscribing, you do get a daily Master Duel video. But I think that's about all the time I've got for today, so without further ado, this is XLex. I'm signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.